My brothers and sisters, what is going on, everybody? This is Steel Sermon in the house Monday afternoon with another video. As always, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, follow on Instagram, link in the description. You know, it's bad enough to be a bad team, but it's even worse to be a bad team and to not be able to hit. And believe me, I use that phrase, not be able to hit, incredibly generously, considering what happened down in South Beach over the past 4 days. So what do you guys think a hitting slump is? Do you think a hitting slump is like 20 for 90, or actually 20 for 90 is not all that bad, but what do you think a bad hitting slump is? Like 15 for 100? That's pretty awful. But how about 10 for 100? That still is pretty bad too. But how about 5 for 100? That's awful. That is legendarily bad, right? But I can think of one that's even worse. How about Ji-Hwan Bae, who's 0 for 30? How about Jack Sawinski, who's 0 for 29? How about Rodolfo Castro, who's 1 for 29? And Austin Hedges, who just is in a slump so often, I can't even call it. His whole career is a slump, okay? That's all there is to it. And the fact that he's still behind home plate and Henry Davis or Endy Rodriguez, who you frickin' drafted and traded for in the first place, are still down in the minors. That's just all I need to know about how the Pirates are taking this rebuild seriously, or lack thereof. But Austin Hedges lately is 0 for 13. So, I'm not a math person, but I did all this in my head enough to come up with the conclusion that those 4 regular starters that are in your lineup, Derek Shelton, Andy Haines, listen to this video loud and clear. Those 4 regular starters that are in your lineup, night in, night out, day in, day out, season in, season out, are a combined 1 for 101. That is next level pathetic. It's so putrid and rancid that if you shat it out, not even the flies would go near it. 1 for 101. I had a better stretch in my high school and minor league community days than that. 1 for 101. And yet, every single game, middle of the lineup, put Hedges behind home plate. Let's have Castro go up. Let's keep putting Sawinski in right. Let's just have Ji-Hwan Bae patch up the problem at second base. If I did my job that badly, I wouldn't have a job. I'm serious. If I was this incompetent with what I'm supposed to be doing at work, my company would have fired me by now. And this is why Derek Shelton cannot be a manager at a major league level. This dude should have to walk from Miami back to Pittsburgh. And and he can take his boyfriend Andy Haines with him. You would think, as a hitting coach that has some kind of knowledge or any kind of experience with hitting a baseball, a batting stance, plate approach, whatever, you would think he would sit down with even one of these guys and just try to improve one of them. He can't even do that. Because you want to know why? Because Andy Haines continues to just say, wait for your pitch. It doesn't matter how many breaking balls that you have to take. It doesn't matter how many fastballs that they're throwing 97 miles an hour right down the middle of the plate and you can easily knock it out of the park for a homer. You just wait for the pitch that you feel comfortable hitting with the most and you have the best chance of contacting with the most, and then you can get on base. Or just, stand there. Don't worry. You don't have to swing the bat. Swinging the bat's overrated. You just take the 4 balls that he throws you and just get on base that way. Just increase your OPS. These guys are disgraceful. And it's a spitting image of how the Pirates really are. You're 35-42, 1-12 in your last 13 games. And guess what, folks? The St. Louis Cardinals, who you have been above most of the season, are snapping at your ankles right now. Because guess what? You are now worse than the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds, team that lost 100 games last year. They're what, 13-2, 13-1, some kind of crazy streak over the course of the past 2 weeks? They're leading the NL Central. Milwaukee and Chicago, forget about it. You can't beat those 2 teams to save your life. And before you know it, you're going to be from first to last because you can't hit the ball. And I just say it every single time. Thank the Lord Almighty for this pitching staff and for some, not all, but some of this defense. Because Lord knows if this pitching was atrocious, excluding the bullpen from Thursday night's monstrosity of a collapse, thanks to Derek Shelton, by the way. What'd you call up Nick Gonzalez for if you're just going to take him out of the lineup? What'd you call up Henry Davis for if you're just going to take him out of the lineup and put in Tupaquina Marcano? And you put in Moreno over Bednar? I mean, this team continues to just completely dumbfound me, man. I don't know what else to say. I have never seen offense from this franchise this putrid and this pathetic in my life. And I've been a fan 22 years. At least with Clint Hurdle and Jim Tracy and Lloyd McClendon, even John Russell. At least with those managers, the offense was somewhat of a threat. The offense could get something on the board. They could generate some kind of offense. It wasn't great offense. It wasn't amazing offense. It wasn't top 10 offense in the league. But at least it was something. This guy, Derek Shelton, and this hitting coach, Andy Haines, are just not major league managers and coaches. They just aren't. That's the bottom line of everything. When I have to wonder when the middle of the lineup is just an automatic out, okay? Because that's what those 4 guys are. We had 5 hits yesterday in Miami. All 5 of them came from the same people. All 5 of them, same people. But when your middle of the lineup is just nothing but an out, and you're sitting down here game after game wondering yourself, can the very least that these players can do is not get out? Or even if they do get out, can at least be a productive out like a sac bunt or a sac fly? Get something going? It's pathetic. It's sad. How these two still have a job is beyond me. How Shelton got extended is beyond me. But yet I know what everyone's going to say about him. You literally cannot say Shelton has no talent anymore. You cannot use the injury excuse anymore. Because this is who he really is. Fumbles the lineup, mismanages the outfield, greatly mismanages the bullpen, does not put players in their best positions, and he rests players unnecessarily. And Andy Haines is just way too patient at the plate. It's losing baseball. At the end of the day, that's what it all boils down to. Losing baseball. I can't believe it, man. 1 for 101. I've never heard of anything more pathetic in my life. I'm being dead serious. I don't think I have to ask you guys what you think down in the comments below, because I think I've made that point pretty clear. This is Still Sermon, checking on out for the day. May God be with you all.